Train the muscles, not the joints. Today I want to talk about a certain subject that's gotten to a point of no return in social media and stuff. But now it seems like there's this herd mentality where everybody is trying to follow a herd. And there's different herds. You know, one people are the CrossFit people, then there's the powerlifting people, all this kind of stuff. Some people are the deadlift people, like you can actually put herds into exercises. Some people are the squat people, ass to the grass. Some people are partial rep, you know, all this kind of stuff. But the problem is that this is actually a mentality. The herd mentality is the mentality that will not allow you to discover your own genius in your training, okay? So you want to follow a template at first, right? It's not like there's anything wrong with a template. But ultimately, at some point, you need to personalize this template. You need to find out how it is that you work out, how it is that you move, and how it is that your body responds to certain types of stimulus, okay? Because every day I see on some sort of post on Instagram or something like that, where like, hey man, my deadlift went up. I'm so proud of myself. I wrecked my back 5 times, but at least now I could deadlift that 300 pounds from the floor, right? And this is a sickness. You know, this is a sign of the sickness that is in the fitness community right now, where people are not only trying to emulate somebody, but they're emulating somebody when, by doing so, they're actually hurting themselves in the process. So what I'm saying is, when you try to be something that you are not, you will hurt yourself. Now, does this mean that you can't accomplish great things? Yes, you can, but in order to accomplish great things, you need to honor the individuality that is you and your body, okay? So I talk about this all the time. I don't say it outright, be yourself, don't copy other people. But what I'm really gonna say is when you mimic other people, make sure that what you are mimicking works in alignment with your characteristics of your body and it actually works for you instead of breaking you, right? The first rule of thumb is if something breaks you or injures you, it is not the right thing for you. Whether it's one variable of what it is you're doing or whether it's the whole thing altogether. So say let's just take deadlifting from the floor because I don't do that. I do Romanian deadlifts because I find they work better for my body dimensions. But say you're deadlifting from the floor and you notice that doing sets of 4 injures you, or you always get a tweaked back, or your back's just a mess for several days after. Perhaps it's the range of motion that's the problem. Perhaps it's the weight that's the problem, right? Perhaps it's the frequency of your training that's the problem. Find out what that is. And what you need to do is actually conduct your own experiment and find out, okay, what is it? Is it actually the weight? Is it the exercise? And what you do is you take one of those variables out and then conduct your experiment. Take the weight out, you know, just do half the weight and see, do I still get injured when I do deadlifts? If that doesn't work, if you still get injured, then okay, lower the frequency down. If you still get injured, then what you can do is change the range of motion, you see? So you conduct your own experiments, and I find there's not a lot of people doing this. There's not enough people on the internet or in the fitness communities that are actually conducting experiments. Instead, they're saying, I don't measure up. I can't do what this guy's doing. He's deadlifting 1,000 pounds on the floor. So no matter what, I got to get myself to that place. And in some cases, guys are turning to drugs, or they're actually ignoring the stimulus that their body is giving them. And they're basically getting massive injuries because of it. I know a lot of guys that are in their 20s right now in the gym, and they think I'm just an effing idiot because I'm telling them, I'm like, listen, I could tell that you're getting tweaked or injured from this. Why are you trying so hard to do the 4 reps all the time? Why are you always doing your PRs? You know, everybody knows that's a professional bodybuilder, or anybody that's been in the gym for any period of time knows a PR is just a risk. It is actually a stupid maneuver. To try to do your 1 rep max on a regular basis to find out what you can lift for your freaking ego is the dumbest thing you can do for your training. And if anything, your training will be sidelined. Give it 8 years from now, or 10 years from now, if you don't have the right genetics to support that type of training, you will no longer be training, period. And you'll just be one of those guys on a couch saying that what I used to be able to do to somebody, right? So really what my point is to honor those of you that are actually honoring yourself. That's really what the point of this video is to say it's okay for you to find out what's right for you. And by doing so, you will discover a genius inside. You will discover and make gains more so than the people that ignore the stimulus that's being shown to them. That was one of the biggest differences when I was competing in natural bodybuilding. The biggest difference between me and a lot of people was that I was paying attention to how my body moved. And I didn't care if an expert came along and said, oh, Jason, you got to do it this way, you got to do it that way, because I knew that their limited intelligence in understanding what I was doing was the factor here. It wasn't because I was doing something wrong, it was just that they weren't smart enough to understand what I was doing. but I had the stimulus, I had the feelings, I had the experiences and the knowledge, and I had conducted so many different experiments to find out why this works for me, right? It might not work for that person, but it worked for me. So this is what you always got to turn back to, no matter what you're looking for in life. If you're trying to mimic somebody, but you're finding out by mimicking them, you're actually hurting yourself, then take a step back and say, okay, what can I change here to honor more my body type, or honor more about what's going on in my body at this time, right? So this is really important. So if you do this, how's it going? So if you do this, you will make way more gains. You're gonna make a lot more gains because you're paying attention to the now, okay? Those of you Eckhart Tolle fans out there, you know, this is my meditation background, all this. Only through paying attention to the now, treating bodybuilding, treating weight training like kung fu, will you actually honor what's happening and make massive progress, okay? So this is the big thing. This is the big rant I want to give you today. This is what the windstorm's about. See, I'm creating this. I'm creating this windstorm right now. I know you don't believe it, but I have a real message I want to share. Goes back to the cult again. Anyway, the bottom line is honor yourself, honor how you move, honor what works, and don't try to compare too much with other people. Just compare to yourself. Just work on your own progress, work on your own improvement, but don't look at others as a sign that you're insignificant or that you're not as good as in any way. And don't break yourself trying to meet impossible expectations. You know, it's like a fish trying to become a bird, right? That's the way people are built. Different people are built differently. Some guys are birds, some guys are fish, you know, they'll move differently. So anyway, I hope this takes your understanding of your nature deeper, okay? Your own nature is something different. You have to realize the jewel and the gift that's in there. And by doing so, you're gonna find out what the perfect training routine, perfect training techniques, and perfect nutrition program, all of it for you, right? And you'll make more gains doing so. All right, so thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope this helps you out with your training. And make sure you visit me at naturalgallantbodybuilding.com, and take care for now. There you go, train the muscles, not the joints. Guaranteed to make your back bigger, guaranteed.